is your girl Vanna. You are now tuning in to the Hood Talks podcast, where community voice matters. Hey, what is up, y'all? This is your girl Vanna, and I'm bringing y'all another episode of The Hood Needs. Okay, we talking to another great organization today, and I am so excited to present to you all this great guest. Come on and tell the people who you are.
Well, greetings, everyone. My name is Robert White III. I am a social support manager with Npower, Missouri. That is Npower. And I have some dynamic guests with me today, two recent graduates of our program. So I'll allow them to introduce themselves.
Yes. Come on, Miss Lady. We're going to let the lady go first. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Raina Boyd. A recent grad at Npower, just graduated this past couple of weeks. Currently, I am at Worldwide Technology, and that's just a little bit about me from being at Npower.
All right. Well, congratulations on completing that and graduating. I know. Can't wait to hear about your experience. Okay, sir. Come on now and tell the people who you are.
Well, hello all. My name is Terence Griffin, also a recent graduate of the Untitled program. I am currently working at Accenture Federal Services as a software designer, and I've got a lot of great things to say about our organization.
All right, and I cannot wait to get into it and hear all about this great organizations that got some great graduates here. Come on, Mr. Robert, tell us about Empire, who you are, what they do, what services they provide, and all that good stuff.
Yes, so absolutely. So Npower is actually a national organization headquarters out of New York. However, the organization is broken up into regions. And so we are Npower, Missouri. We've been in the St. Louis Metro East market for approximately 5 years. I've been with the organization 2 of those years. Currently, we are going into our 10th cohort of the program. We offer 2 cohorts per year. And so this September the 8th, will mark the beginning of our 10th cohort. Essentially, we are a program that works with young adults ages 18 to 25, as well as veterans from underserviced, under-resourced, and often underrepresented communities and populations that have an interest in launching a tech career. And so when they launch a tech career, it not only changes their personal trajectory, right, and opens them up to financial benefits, but it also has an impact on our community. We have a strong interest in not just our students doing well. I want them to, live in a nice community, nice house, and all those things. But I'm just as much vested in them giving back to the communities that they come from. Currently in the Missouri market, we only work with 18 to 25-year-olds. However, there are plans for us to expand to working with military veterans soon. A little bit about our program. We have a tech fundamentals program that we offer. The program is 23 weeks. 16 of those weeks is virtual instruction. And by the way, our program is completely free. There's no cost attached to it. 16 of those weeks is virtual instruction. Our young adults go through 4 hours of technical training per day, 5 days a week, as well as professional development training. So in our professional development, we're really working with them to develop those soft skills, because the aim is not just for them to get into the tech field, but to continue to advance in the tech field. And we understand that those soft skills will be the things that will help them to stand out in addition to the certifications that they gain. The cool thing about our program is, say, for instance, we have a young adult that wants to participate. They don't have a laptop, they don't have technology. Well, here's the thing. We have loaner laptops that we lend out, as well as mobile hotspots. So we don't want technology to be a barrier for anyone participating in our program. Once our young adults complete the 16-week component of our program, they go on to a paid 7-week internship, or it could be a kind of a virtual learning project where they will put their skills to use over what they've gained over the last 16 weeks. Once they've completed all 23 weeks of the program, they become alumni of the program. And as alumni, we continue to work with them to gain additional certifications over that time at no cost. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, so over the duration of the 23-week program, our trainees can earn up to 4 tech certifications free of cost. We pay for them to take the test. If someone takes a test and they don't pass the first time, as long as they're doing what they need to do and progressing, we will pay for them to take the test again. So
Wow.
I know I've said a
I
mouthful,
was
but
gonna say, like,
that's
I
just a
couldn't even,
snapshot.
because that is so much. I mean, it's so dope. I mean, all
Yeah.
of the things that you touched on. Like one important thing that I love that you highlighted was that the barriers, you're addressing the barriers, and sometimes people do not have access to internet or quality internet, or sometimes people don't have a laptop, or so these things could prevent them from thinking about going into the tech field. But you're like, nah, don't let that stop you. We're going to provide you that and also guide you and help you not only with the skills of technology, but also the skills of how to maintain a career. Yeah, that is awesome. Look, I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, that is a super dope. And so I want to get in real quick and let these guys come in the conversation and explain to me, you all, what made you want to get into the field. And look, anybody who feels to go ahead. It's fine.
Just go first. Honestly, so I went to a North Technical High School, so it's a technical high school. So yeah. I picked up
Shout out to North Tech. I graduated in North Tech.
Okay. So I had a trade there, so I took up Cisco networking. So I was a part of the Cisco Networking Academy. And after that, like, I just loved technology. So then after, graduating high school, I went to SIUE in Edwardsville. And I got a bachelor's in computer management and information systems, because I see my future in technology. Like, regardless of what I do, I know technology is going to be a part of me. So I came across Npower, and, just hearing about the wonderful things that they provide to students. And I thought it was wonderful, and I jumped at the opportunity, and I am forever grateful for being part of this program.
Oh, wow. And shout out to you. We definitely need more women in the field of technology.
Exactly. And that's really why I pushed myself on that, because looking at, like, in high school, it wasn't a lot of women of color in technology, especially women, period. The women in technology is not many of us at all.
But definitely women of color. So shout out to you.
Right. So I just wanted to do something that, I could do it. So I just wanted to beat the odds. Yes, I wanted to beat the odds and be part of that group. So, it's wonderful to be part of it.
Okay.
And if I could jump in really quickly before we move on. So Npower, the national organization, has an initiative called 40 by 2022. And the emphasis really is on bringing more women into the IT space, specifically women of color. I was really intentional about making sure that I had a woman of color, preferably a woman of African descent, on this call with me. And Raina was one of the first people that came to my mind when I, asked someone to join me.
Yes, and that's important. Here at the Hood Talks podcast, we definitely are addressing things that's happening in our community. And so I'm glad that you are here, so that some young girl could look at you and be like, oh, she's in tech, I can do it. And because representation definitely matters. And we know that here at the Hood Talks podcast. So yes, kudos to you and thank you for joining us. And Mr. Terrence, what is your experience? Why did you decide to do tech in Python?
Excuse me. Well, my story is a little bit different than that one. I went to a pretty nice high school here in St. Louis by the name of CBC High School. And right after that, I went into college, and I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do with my life, like, at all. So I ended up dropping out of school twice, actually, just doing the normal thing. I got myself into retail. After a while, I realized, this is just not the trajectory that I want to put myself on. So I had made it a goal for myself to get out of retail by 2020. And so I thankfully had found an opportunity to get into construction. And I opened up my own business. Things were rocking pretty well until, unfortunately, the global pandemic hit. That slowed down things a lot. So it had gotten to a point where I was able to find work, but it wasn't very fulfilling. It definitely wasn't very consistent. There was just a lot of gaps, in between paychecks, and it felt like I was kind of getting to a point where I had to get back into retail. And so, there was a certain point in time where I just was putting in applications, everywhere that I absolutely could, trying to find any opportunity that's out there. And one day I had gotten a call from the recruiters at Npower. I did not know anything about what it was. I did not even, when I applied, it had said tech internship. I had no idea. They gave me a call, got into an interview, and they said, hey, this is what the opportunity is. If you're interested in it, we'd like to have you for another interview. I sat with myself and thought, well, do I have a career in tech? Is there potential for that? My background in tech was really just checking my emails and downloading apps on my phone. There wasn't too much of like any sort of technical background, nothing like that. I couldn't tell you the different parts of the computer or anything like that. But, I just sat with myself and thought, well, is this really going to be something that can really, I can really leverage and I can really make the most of? So I decided to take a chance, lean into it. And I got involved with the program, and I haven't even looked back since. It has been one of the absolute best opportunities I've had in my life. And so now I'm just really working to make it a point that we get the word out that there are opportunities out there like that for people that are of color, that are underrepresented, that come from different communities that aren't being represented on the map, and you don't have to have a background to be able to be successful in this career. You can really, lean into the support that they give you, and you can really make something of it. So it's just been fantastic.
Come through, y'all. Come on. I mean, all of that is great facts and information. I love that you said that you don't have to have a background in this. Like, you're like, I didn't know nothing about a computer.
Nothing.
But we know technology is taking over right now, and that there's a longevity of what it's going to be doing in the future. So people, especially people of color, really need to tap into and learn all of the skills that they can learn around technology. So again, kudos to you for taking that opportunity and making the best of it, and Npower for offering it. So come on, Mr. Robert, tell the people if they are listening. I know you said you have a cohort that's coming up in September. How can someone apply? How can someone get involved in Npower if they're listening to this right now? Like, ooh, this is me. I need to do this.
Yeah, so if Npower sounds like it may be something of interest, what I would recommend people to do is go to our website, which is the letter N Power, so NPOWER.org, and find out a little bit more about the organization. To speak to Terrence's point, right? Here's the thing: there are only 3 requirements for young adults to apply for our program. They have to be 18 to 25. They have to have graduated from high school or the equivalent, so they could have a high set, and they have to be able to legally work in the United States, right? So they don't have to have a background in any type of tech. As long as they're 18 to 25, graduated or the equivalent, and can work in the United States, they're eligible to apply for our program. If they are interested in applying in our program, they will simply go to our website, npower.org/apply. Or they can reach out to me, and I'll give my personal email address. My email is robert.white, as in the color white, at npower.org. And I would be happy to get them plugged into our recruitment and admissions managers and get this process started. Like you said, we have a cohort that will start on September the 8th. So we're still actively recruiting. If you don't qualify for this program, spread the word. If you got a cousin or a little brother or a homeboy, homegirl, spread the word. Let them know that this may be something that may be of interest to them.
Yes, that part right there, y'all. So again, like, really tapping in, and like, if you can't qualify, but you know someone that can, please pass it on. We need to make sure that we're uplifting our community, and like Terrence said, the resources are here. There's access to things. We just need to tap into them. Robert, with you being part of Npower, what is one thing that you would say that you're most proud about this organization and working with them?
Yeah, so here's the thing. My job can be emotionally taxing. I'm somewhat like a case manager, right? And so I'm helping these young adults navigate what it means to be an adult, the expectations that come with that. Sometimes I'm working with young adults through mental health crisis, housing insecurity. So it can be taxing, right? And there are many days where it just weighs on me. But here's the reality. The fact that I'm on this call right now with Terrence and Raina, these are the reasons that I continue to do the work that I do. You know, the fact that I impact these young adults, they will go on to potentially have families and impact, you know, their community. I'm the son of an educator. My mom is a retired educator with the St. Louis Public Schools, and so service has always been in my blood. And my mom told me, she said, the greatest impact or the greatest paycheck, rather, you could ever receive, because you don't make enough money as unfortunately as an educator or doing something like that. But she said the greatest impact is, or the greatest paycheck rather, is knowing that you positively impacted someone's life. And the fact that you know, I worked with Terrence closely on my caseload, the fact that, you know, I worked with Raina, I would come in and do professional development presentations, and I've seen them grow tremendously in less than 6 months. You know, the reality is some of these young folks are coming into opportunities, professional opportunities, making more money. I've been in my career 20 plus odd years. In their first position, they're making more money than I am. And I'm not hating on that. I'm proud of that, right?
Right,
So
right.
that's probably, you know, the biggest thing is just seeing our young adults graduate, seeing our young adults grow, you know, not just professionally, but personally. I've spoken to
Yes.
Terrence, and I don't know if Terrence would like to share some of his testimony, but how, you know, over the past 6 months, he's just grown as a person, not just as a professional or knowing more about tech. And the same thing with Raina as well.
Yes, come on, elaborate on what he's talking about, Mr. Terrence, because I'm sure someone is going to listen and you're going to inspire someone, because I love hearing success stories about people in our community. So come on.
I mean, I'm not even sure what I could really say. Really, I'm flattered. You know, at such a nice words. I really have to thank Robert just on my own accord. You know, he did. He was my personal, like I call it, success coach. You know, he really gave me all of the different resources that I would need, whether that's just like figuring out how, for me personally, it was always time management. You know, I always would like lose focus very quickly. Like I grew up, everybody always telling me that I'm ADD and all these other things. And, you know, Robert really helped me to hammer it home this, like, this is not really the case. You know, you just have to find a way to make everything work for you, you know? And so he really helped me to find out a way that, you know, if I have a bunch of different things, I can just break those up into little different segments. You know, I can just do little pieces at a time, and each of those things will eventually all gradually build into the next things, you know. So I really, you know, I love all the conversations that we would have. You know, the way that I really put it, in the best way that I could put it, is really that all of the people at Npower are superheroes. They truly, truly care about the people that are coming in. They are offering, you know, their services to inspire, right, to teach, and to put these young people in power. You know, I think that that's a great thing, that they're able to work for an organization that is going to be able to give these opportunities to young folks for free. For free. I mean,
Keyword, free. Y'all hear this?
Free. Yeah, I had to sit multiple times with myself and just think, how could this possibly be free? You know, how could this possibly be free? But the thing that they always say is, it's not truly free. It doesn't cost you any money, sure, but it is certainly not free. There is a commitment that you have to make. You have to be willing to learn. You know, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. You have to be willing to lean into the support system that they have. That is something that I personally never really had much of, as far as like extended support groups. I've always had my family that's been very close, and they've always told me, you know, put an onus on education and things like that. But it's always been more of a, you know, go and find those things for yourself. So I've always been more of the, you know, go along the path my own way. But, you know, speaking with Robert and speaking with all of my other classmates, me and Raina were in two separate classes. Actually, there was a morning class, and then there was an evening class. I was lucky enough to make it into the evening class, and just, you know, spending time after class, speaking with some of my classmates, you know, one of my classmates, Nick, taking time after our classes to teach me different little aspects of coding, you know, speaking with, you know, some of our other classmates and meeting up with them, you know, going on walks, going on bike rides. I am an avid cyclist. I'm trying to build a network of Black cyclists in St. Louis, and so it's been really great to have this family that I can kind of pick from and start to tell, hey, we're in tech, but it's not just about tech, it's about our entire lives. And that's really what everybody else is getting at. Something that I really try to push home too is that, with tech, it's great, to sit at home. Like it's nice to sit and get a paycheck to sit at a computer as opposed to getting paid to put a nail through my hand, like I definitely have. So, there's more to it than just that though. There is a certain sense of peace of mind that we have to go after, and being in underrepresented communities, that's something that's very hard as well. So, I've really tried to, take the ball and really put it in everybody else's court to say, hey, it's great that we're here, but what else can we do to try and help, our mental health, our physical health? How can we really better ourselves in like a lot of different ways?
Yes.
So there's just so much. I mean, there's so many great points.
I love it. I mean, and like you said, not only building the skill set, but also building the support system, the networking, the leaning in on each other, and then also uplifting how not only can we thrive as in career-wise, but how can we thrive, period, in life, knowing what we're all dealing with, just being Black and people of color. So again, kudos to y'all. I love it. And then it's a younger generation. That is a key part too, is that you guys are the younger generation who's tapping into this and you're getting a head start. That was what is amazing. So all the hard work that you've done now leading up to when you become older and setting like, these goals and achieving them, when you're going to look back and be like, whew, thank you. It's going to be a lot easier. So I mean, I really love hearing everything that you all are saying. And Raina, come in a little bit more on just being a woman in this field. Can you kind of highlight on what do you feel like resource wise, how Npower helped you navigate that, or things that you feel like maybe if someone's listening and she's a woman, like what can they tap into to help them also, achieve something in the technology world?
Well, for starters, I'm gonna say being in technology, like I said, it's not many women. So if you're in a classroom or virtual, whether that's physical, there might not be a lot of women in a classroom, especially women that look like you, women of color. So I would say first, like, don't get intimidated by that. Like if you're going into a classroom setting, like the teachers are there, like they're there to help you. The resources are there to, help you get through the courses as well. So I would say, like, don't feel intimidated by any of the materials that is given to you. Even if you're having any questions like of self-doubt or anything like that, the instructors will uplift you. Even we have personal development instructors as well, not just technical. So we have a personal development instructors, and they will help you with personal development. If you're having imposter syndrome or feeling of just insecure or anything like that, any way you're feeling to where you feel like you can't push through the program, they're there to support you and uplift you in any way, shape, or form. Even a support coach is like, without my support coach, honestly, I don't know if I would have how I would have got through this program, because I was dealing with multiple different personal things, like dealing with grief on so many levels. And having that support coach, whether that's Coach Rob or my coach Z, like they uplift you in so many ways. Just personally, like they find time out of their day to ask you questions. If you want to ask them questions, come to them on a personal level. And one thing for sure, like it might be hard to trust other people, like other than your family, like you coming into this program and these are strangers, so off top you're going to be like, oh my God, can I give my full self to them? Yes, you can, and you should feel safe to give your full self to them, because they will be there to help you throughout the way. And just being part of a great group, like my classmates, like they're amazing. Like We feed off of each other energy. We help each other outside of class. Like Terence was saying, like going outside of class to meet with them personally, like just meet with them physically is amazing as well, not just virtual, because you need that, physical contact sometimes with people. But, just, feeding into the resources that they give you, whether that's technical, personal, emotional. We even have financial services available free of charge. Like everything is free. Like you don't have to pay for anything. Even like with some of the exams, like we have, I think the very first one, ITF Plus. If you're going into IT, first, you might not understand the material. Say you failed your test for the first time. They will offer you so many tries and you can retry and get the passing score that you need to move on to the next certification. That's what's awesome. Like, you don't have to beat yourself up about it. They will help you one-on-one. Like the instructors will give one-on-one time to make sure that you're gaining that information that you need to pass that exam. It's just wonderful to be part of a program that's like that. And just honestly, just investing your time and your energy 100% into the program and you will be successful. There's no way around it. Just putting everything that you have into this program and you will get everything that you need to be successful within, rather, even if you don't want to go in a technology field, you can use all of these skills and resources in your personal life, anywhere. It will follow you throughout your whole life. So yeah, I would say just feed into the resources that they give you.
Oh, y'all. So
If I could,
go ahead.
If I could just piggyback on what Raina was saying, really, and since with a really big point of women of color in the tech industry, at this program, she mentioned that we have professional development teachers. Both of them are women of color.
Yes.
Our technical instructor, Courtney, a woman of color, a fantastic job giving us the support that we need, giving us all of the resources that we need, showering us with, different types of forms and different types of websites and different types of things to really nail home, all of the things that they're trying to teach us, because they really want us to succeed, and all the way at the top too, the program director at Donde Lane, wonderful woman of color. It is everywhere. The times are changing. There's a lot of change coming in. There are a lot more opportunities. So, I think that it's fantastic to see that it's not something that they're just talking about. They're really living it out.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And I was going to say that definitely makes a difference too. And then it also goes back to what you say, feeling comfortable and safe and having that space. And a lot of times, representation, again, it matters. So y'all, I am so happy that you guys are here to join Robert in talking about this organization, because one thing is I can honestly say is that when you get the story behind people that have been impacted by these organizations, that makes it even more better. It's one thing for an organization to sit here and talk, which is great to hear, but it's wonderful to see the impact that it's made on people in the community. So kudos to you for joining us. Robert, anything else the people need to know about this good organization, Npower, that you feel is needed to uplift? Go ahead.
Yeah, so many things, but I recognize we have only limited time, so I'll say a couple things. If you think that you may be even have an inkling of interest, if you are eligible, apply. It won't hurt to apply. Now, here's the thing. I won't tell you that it'll always be easy. Essentially, what we're asking you to do is make a 6-month commitment, right? And sometimes it will be challenging. Sometimes information will come, maybe you feel fast, right? Sometimes you just won't get it. But here's the thing. As these two beautiful young adults just mentioned, you have a community. We take a village approach. So you have myself as a social support coach. You have the professional development, the career and internship placement managers. And you have people that are rooting for you. And as long as you show up, as long as you do your part, we're going to be there and we're going to go to bat for you. Think about it like this. This is an investment in yourself, right? So if you invest 6 months of yourself in this program, you know, think about how I've seen people go from working and I've seen people going from working $10 an hour jobs to making, I'm just gonna throw a number out, y'all. This might be a facetious number to making $50,000 a year in 6 months. So to me, that investment is worthwhile. In fact,
Yes, it is.
I have
Very
college debt. I have college debt. I wish Npower. I wish I would have had another option
Let me
back in
tell
the
you
late
something.
90s when I came out of high
I'm
school
about to be real
to
transparent. I went to
yeah,
Vatterott
yeah,
and took community technology and
yeah.
computers and all, and I feel like I got ganked. So I wish I
Yeah,
had
yeah,
Empower. Okay,
I can
yeah,
agree with that.
yes, girl. Like I'm
yeah.
like,
Even with my degree, like I agree with that.
I feel
Absolutely.
like I got ganked.
The resources were there. You know, everything that I feel like I learned more being an Empire than I did.
Look,
Absolutely.
And
I might need to sign up because I'm telling y'all, I was like, what did I do with this assignment? What was this? What is this? Ain't did nothing in computers. So again, and still I've heard me struggling, like, oh Lord, did I go to school or did I not? But this is why I'm so happy that the Hood Talks podcast is here and that we are having this conversation, because that's another thing. We tell our kids to go to college, they get into debt, and it's a hard thing to get out of debt. And if there's programs out here that are giving trades and giving, free information and free certificates, and tap into that, because that's giving our children a head start where they don't have to come out of school being in debt and being in competitive situations with people, and they're coming out of college with $50,000 in debt, making $10 an hour. Here you are saying, like, literally, you don't have to put in no money. It's free, and you can be coming out 6 months later making $50,000. So you're ahead of
And
the game.
here's another dope part. That's not the end of it. So, as alumni, for example, Terrence and Raina, we have a cybersecurity program. So they could go further, right? It doesn't have to end here for them. Or if they want to go and gain additional certifications so that they can advance in their career, as long as they stay connected and active and engaged as alumni, we got their back. We got resources behind them.
Yep.
So it
Speaking
don't
to
even have to, yeah.
I was going to say, speaking to your point, right now, right before we got on the call, I'm currently, we got the wonderful opportunity to get, certifications from CompTIA, from Accenture, from Cisco Network Academy. Thankfully enough, we were able to get, by the skin of our teeth, we were able to get Google certifications, and it doesn't just stop, like they said, in the class. Right now, I'm currently working on my next certification, which is in data analytics by Google, courtesy of Npower. It otherwise would not even be on my mind. And just to speak to his point even further, 6 months ago, I was truly unemployed, no idea what to do. And now I'm a software developer. That is an exponential growth, and it's not easy. Every day is certainly not easy, but you have the opportunity to invest in yourself. You have the opportunity to put yourself in power. And that is something that is completely seemingly lost in other places in our society, And so I think that it's a really great thing that, we're able to do that for ourselves, but really that we're able to come here, and speak with the Hood Talks and be able to, talk with what the Hood needs really, because, that's what we need to do moving forward. Like I said, working on data analytics right now, I've come to absolutely love data in so many different ways. It is going to completely revolutionize the way that we look at, everything from the way that we are doing business to the way that we are interacting in our communities to the, just the way that we can see how things are happening in front of us. The proof is in the pudding. If we really want to be able to, make those changes in our life, we can rely on the data, and I wouldn't have even been able to see any of this stuff without all of the support, all of the continuing education that they offer. So it's just, there are so many great reasons why you should try your hardest to invest in yourself and to put yourself in power.
Yes, I
I'll
love that.
say this last point.
Go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
sorry. I'll say this last point, and I just want to say it before I lose it. I heard someone a couple years ago say that St. Louis will become the Silicon Valley of the Midwest. St. Louis, believe it or not, as much as we have qualms with St. Louis and what St. Louis isn't doing right, not living up to its full potential. St. Louis oftentimes gets in its own way, but
Yes.
there are many amazing things that are going on. You look at, the innovation community in here in St. Louis, and it's top notch. But here's the reality: how many of us know about that? How many of us are in those rooms? How many of us are at the table, right? So Empower exists so that we can get people, not just, our focus is people from our community. We do work with others from others communities, right? Let's be completely honest about that. But our interest is really making sure that we have people from our communities that have the skills, the certifications, the connections, so that we won't get left out when
Yeah.
those conversations are being had and when those opportunities are coming down the pipeline. We got a cohort, we got a cadre of emerging technologies that we can just go ahead and place from our community. And ideally, like I said earlier, I want to see all of them succeed, right? I want them to have individual
Yes.
success. But as a social support coach and as an African invested in our community, what's more important to me is them utilizing their skills, their talents, their abilities, and their resources to come back to our community and to build up our community.
Yes, yes, yes. Because that's one thing I agree too, that sometimes we get great gems in our community, young people who are doing amazing things, and we don't uplift and celebrate them enough. And so they leave. So, no, we need you guys. And I appreciate you guys for being here and talking about your experience. And yeah, stay, please stay and keep doing what you're doing. Shout out to again Empire for supporting them. Yeah, I totally agree that it's amazing to see young people out here doing some great things and doing some work and thriving. And I hope that this inspires others who's watching to say, like you said, Terrence, I'm unemployed, but now look at me now. I'm employed and I'm flourishing. Like I said, I'm a woman of color. I did it. Look at me. I did it. So yes, y'all are doing the thing. It's greatly appreciated because you're coming to also uplift it, and I appreciate that. Robert, I got one more good question for you. Not only
Absolutely. I got one
how
more good answer.
not only how does someone get into the services and all of that, but how if someone's listening in and they like, this is a great organization, we want to support, we want to, help in some type of way, we want to connect. How can someone reach? Because that's nothing I'm big on, is connecting not only the people but connecting the organizations, because right, the more we
Absolutely.
work together, the better we can reach. So how can someone reach out to support you all and what you're doing at Empower?
Yeah, so I'll talk about some potential opportunities for corporate partners in the community to engage, and then I'll leave my personal contact number. That way, if someone wants to reach out, I can make that connection to where it needs to go. So Empower is constantly always looking for volunteers. And here's the reality: these volunteers don't necessarily have to come from a tech background. We are looking for guest speakers to come in to do professional development presentations. So, for example, I had someone come in last cohort to talk about emotional intelligence, right? So, if you have a topic that you think you would be beneficial for our young adults to hear, feel free to reach out. We do have a professional development curriculum. However, there is room in the curriculum for guest speakers to come in. We also have opportunities for mentors, right? And again, these people don't necessarily have to come from the tech space. If they are in the tech space, great. But we don't want people not being in the tech space to miss out on the opportunity to mentor these young adults. These young adults are still very impressionable, and contrary to popular belief, a lot of them want guidance. A lot of them want support. So, community mentors is another way that people can plug in. Also, if you have any like social justice projects, we're big on our trainees paying it forward, right? So, if you have any type of events where you think our young adults could plug in and give back to the community, reach out to us. And finally, we are a nonprofit. And so there's always the room to make a financial donation and a financial contribution to our organization to fund the work. As we said earlier, it does not cost, these young adults don't have to come out of pocket to pay for the program. But the last I heard, it costs about $7,000 per trainee that we put through our program, right? So that money has to come from somewhere. And so if you want to make a financial contribution, feel free to reach out as well. The easiest way to figure out other ways to plug in would be to visit our national website, which is www.npower, that is NPOWER.org. Or you can also reach out to me personally. My name is Robert White III. My email is robert.white@npower.org. My contact number is 314-252-8274. And you can reach out to me and I can get you plugged in.
All righty, y'all. Well, y'all done heard it again on the Hood Talks podcast, 18 to 25. If y'all know anybody that's young out here and needs something to do that's productive, here it is. Tell them to tap in. Free. They ain't got to pay for nothing. Just put up some time. And I'm sure with the pandemic right now, time is on a lot of people's hand, and use that in a good way. So here you are. Please, y'all, share this information and keep listening in to the Hood Talks podcast, because you know your girl gonna keep bringing you all the resources in the STL community, because I want my people out here continually thriving and tapping in. All right, so that is it for this episode. But again, like I said,
Vanna,
in. Oh, sure, go ahead.
If I may, I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't know if I said this earlier, but the
ahead.
pandemic is still real, y'all, and these numbers are jumping. So we are completely virtual. That's another thing. So we're not meeting in person. At one point, we were actually in person, but all of our training sessions are held over Zoom.
All right. Well, that's important to know, because somebody might be listening in like, wait a minute, I ain't trying to go nowhere. But yeah, so he is virtual, y'all. So that means you ain't even got to go in. You can go from your laptop, and if you don't got a laptop, they're going to give you a laptop. Okay, see, that ain't no reason why you can't sign up. So I'm going to need y'all to go ahead, sign up. And when y'all do, tell them the Hood Talks podcast. That's where you heard it at, all right? Well, that is it for this episode. Keep tuning in to the Hood Talks podcast, y'all. I appreciate it. And we are out. Yay! Thank you for tuning in to the Hood Talks podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and also follow us on all our social media.